Okay, so two more stories left, and this is a big story, and I think arguably the second biggest story, and we'll get to the biggest story after that. But it's a big deal for everybody that's a comic book fan because Spider-Man is now finally coming to Disney Plus. Every single Spider-Man, almost every single Spider-Man, is coming to Disney Plus. Um, so all of the ones except No Way Home and um, well, everything except No Way Home and a couple others. So this comes from our friend Scott Mendelson. Spider-Man and Venom are swinging on to Disney Plus. It's not quite every single Spider-Man movie on Disney Plus, but it's a start. Beginning Friday, the entire Sam Raimi directed Spider-Man trilogy, which is Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3, will arrive alongside Mark Webb's first Amazing Spider-Man reboot. On March 12th, subscribers will be able to watch the first Venom film and the first Marvel Sony Peter Parker Passion Play, Spider-Man Homecoming. However, that still leaves four of the 10 live action titles, at least going back to 2002 MIA on the platform. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Venom Let There Be Carnage are left out alongside the two MCU Spider-Man sequels, Far From Home and No Way Home. This is just how the license agreements and related streaming merry-go-round work. All four of the missing titles are starring currently on Stars. For that matter, every single Spider-Man or Venom movie is currently available to rent for around $4 on every mainstream VOD platform. While the Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco iteration will at least arrive on Disney Plus as a complete standalone entity, we'll see how much interest viewers have in the first chapters of the next two variations, or the next two installments. Will audiences be thrilled to check out Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone's The Amazing Spider-Man on a Disney Plus, knowing that they'll have to sign up for Stars to pay $4 to rent The Amazing Spider-Man 2? Considering how much audiences don't seem to pay attention to what's streaming where, will they watch Spider-Man Homecoming and become angry and outraged only then to discover that the next two Tom Holland Zendaya flicks are only available elsewhere? At least Morbius fans is currently hiding under Netflix, safe from an accidental discovery. I love Scott's writing. Considering the relative lack of buzziness, new content on Disney Plus, save for periodic Star Wars and MCU film shows, this qualifies as a get. To be fair, next month we'll pick up via a National Geographic produced Anne Frank miniseries, A Small Light, a miniseries adaptation of Gene Wu Yang's American-Born Cheese in the Muppets Mayhem. So let's talk about this real quick. I love the first couple of Spider-Mans, and so Metal says it's about damn time. Yeah, it is about damn time. So the way it works is, and what Scott was talking about in the piece is, this is how streaming works. There is so much. So when a feature film goes to, it's out for you guys to see. Okay. Then after it's done with it's what's known as the theatrical run. Okay. It was 90 days. Now it's 45 days. Then it goes. So somebody like Sony then goes to a pay-per channel like a Stars or a Showtime or whatever else, and then says, okay, how much you want to pay for this? They say, okay, X amount. So they pay X amount to Sony, okay, and maybe they split that with Disney, okay, in the case of Homecoming, and then they'll get to see it. So now, if you have Stars, you can watch Homecoming, or you can watch No Way Home and Far From Home on Stars. That being said, once it's done with that particular timetable, then it can move over to streaming. So then, that is done. Now, clearly, this, as Scott said in the piece, this is all about how streaming works, and what the rights are. So it must have taken quite a bit of time to do this. Now, that being said, Disney has their own platform. Sony does not. So keep that in mind too. So Sony sold Morbius to um, he sold Morbius to Netflix, which as a kid it was buried. So yeah, I mean, I'll be. We'll see what happens with this. I suspect that these people that have showed Disney Plus might have a lot of them might have stars, so they'll be able to watch them. If not, they probably will. You might see an uptick in home. They don't have it, so it will be interesting to see. This is definitely good for Disney Plus, though, and it's one of those things where they need to get some bigger stuff on on their platform, because right now Mandalorian just went south. And I have not watched the finale, but everybody that has told me about it is it's not good. So this comes from Metal. What do you think the deal is? What do you think the deal is with No Way Home? Why not that one? Is it because all the Spider-Men are in it and the money is it because the Spider-Men are in them in the most money? So okay, so why is No Way Home? To your point. So No Way Home only came out a couple years ago. Okay. So it's not that it's still one of those movies that it's really, really fresh, right? Really fresh. So once it comes out of theaters, Sony then will go to, let's say, Stars, because that's where it's streaming, or that's where it is. Okay. So if they'll go to Stars, so let's say you pay $15.99 a month for Stars. Okay. They'll go to Stars and say, okay, you can have this exclusive movie that we did. I'll put it to you this way, Metal. Now, if I don't know if you have TNT, okay, but if you do, you'll notice that TNT and TBS have all of the Star Wars movies, right? So what they did, okay, is they paid Lucasfilm or Disney, considering how they own them, about $1 billion. Now you have to remember, this is when The Force Awakens was out, okay, in 2015, I think, 2016. And they paid Lucasfilm $1 billion, okay? And they said, here's the thing. We get access to your whole Star Wars library. That is The Force Awakens. That is A New Hope. That is Empire Strikes Back. That is Return of the Jedi. That is Solo, okay? Or any other upcoming movies you may do. So when they bought that, okay, they ended up getting The Last Jedi, very first one. That was a world premiere on TNT, okay, with limited commercials. They got Solo, okay, and they got The Rise of Skywalker. So it was the first thing right off the top. So when they bought that, they can air it now as much as they want. And that's what you'll see is on weekends, okay, you'll see them do a Star Wars marathon for like 9 hours. They'll do episodes 4, 5, and 6, or whatever it is. And that being said, that they can do that. So to your point is, it's not going to make them more money. Now, it will be interesting to see what happens. My guess is, and I have no inside knowledge about this, my guess is that Sony and Disney struck up a deal that, okay, so you've seen them? Okay. So my guess is what they did is they struck a deal, okay? And that you'll probably see 2025, 2026, you will probably see those go over to Disney Plus, because they will announce that they're going over to Disney Plus, and then they will starting their new franchise of Disney. So that's that one. Yeah, and this is good for everybody. Look, Disney Plus is hurting for content right now. there's nothing else to be said about it because The Mandalorian is not doing the numbers they hoped. And, it's one of those things where, you know, I mean, look, I don't, I hope that I mean, look, I hope it does well. And I suspect it will. Um, and that's that. And so I don't think as Scott said, though, I don't think people are going to be pissed off. I think people will just say, okay, that's fine. And if they do, they do. And if they don't, they don't. Or maybe they own them already on Blu-ray. So there's another thought right there. Anyways, guys, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is a good move for Disney Plus? Do you think that are you going to watch the Spider-Man movies on Disney Plus? Who is your favorite Spider-Man, and which Spider-Man movies are your favorite? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll get back to everybody.